This is your boy Toby. We're gonna be doing a review on the Carbonda FM936. This thing is an absolute trail smashing machine. If you're balling on a budget, it's pretty rowdy. Alright team, let's just go ahead and do a little bit of a bike check. I'm going to start off with the suspension. I've got a Pike up front. I got the Debonair on the air cartridge side. This is set at 120 millimeters, and then this is a RockShox Deluxe. So this is a 165 eye to eye, and then they call out a 42 millimeter stroke. I went with a 42.5, gives it a little bit more travel back here. There are some caveats with that. I did bend this, being a little bit too aggressive with it. Buy one or two extra of these, because if this gets bent, that means that your stroke can actually come up even further, allowing your seat stay bridge right here to contact your seat tube. Especially when you get it covered in, you know, dirt and grime like I've got mine. Tokens. I have 2 tokens up front in the air chamber, and then on the Deluxe, I have the maximum number of, I think you can put 3 tokens or 1 Nardog token in the air chamber for your Debonair. I find that I need this thing to be as progressive as possible. Otherwise you just kind of blow through that travel pretty quickly. I think I'm sitting about 20% sag, those tokens in here, and up front I'm running about 5 to 10 psi above Pike's recommended air pressure for my weight. Kind of going into the drivetrain setup, so I've gone with an XT 11 speed back here, so that's paired with a 32 tooth front chainring. Now I had SRAM on here for a little while, but after that drivetrain wore out, I wanted to try XT. So XT 11 speed, so 46 tooth big one, paired with the 32 up here. I actually went with the 165 millimeter cranks. I'm a huge fan of the short cranks. 165 has been fantastic for me. It also keeps your foot a little bit higher at the very bottom here, meaning that you can run a little bit taller dropper. For brakes, these are Hayes Dominion A2s. Now, I have the A4s on my big bike, and I've been so impressed with them that I actually got the A2s for the little bike. On the back, I have a 160 millimeter rotor. On the front, I have a 180 millimeter rotor. I am absolutely tickled with how good of a stopping power they have for little tiny brakes. For my wheel, for my tires, I've got Specialized ground control. I've got a buddy who's been talking up how good Specialized tires were. I've given them a try, and I have to agree with him. They're pretty sweet. So I've got a ground control on the back. I've got a Purgatory on the front. On the back here, I am running the XC Cushcore on, funny enough, another unbranded carbon rim that I got from a local bike shop. On the front here, I've actually just got a cheap aluminum WTB wheel. This started out as a major budget build, and my front wheel that I chose for that just still hasn't died. Okay, so for my dropper post, here's another cool thing about this bike, is that this dropper, this is a 170 millimeter dropper. This is a P&W Loam. For a little tiny bike, fitting a 170 millimeter dropper has been pretty sweet. Coming back up front here, I decided to also try out an off-brand Scott Synchros knockoff. So this is a DIY carbon handlebar. I'll put the link in the description below. This has got the integrated stem and handlebar combo. It's been fantastic. Now, what is kind of funny is I actually had to go to these foam grips because this bar is so stiff that you kind of get some vibrations that like come into your hand, and doesn't feel the best, you know, after about an hour or so. So these ESI foam grips, I just put them on not too long ago, and it's been a really good game changer. I think that's honestly it as far as the bike check goes. Yeah, I mean, I've just got a WTB Volt saddle here. Once again, this started off as a major budget build, and I just like slowly put money into it as things break. Okay, so the other thing is there is a little bit of play in the suspension, and that's because this main pivot here, the way they have it set up, is that that main pivot bolt is just slightly too long, so that those countersinks don't tighten everything together. When you order this, make sure that you ask that that main pivot is the correct length. I have mine on order, and once again, because everything takes so long, mine just hasn't shown up yet. I've had zero issues. The surrounding carbon around both the frame bearings and the main pivot on the swing arm show no signs of wear. It's just there's a little bit of play that you can feel, and so just ask for that extra. Just double check that that is the correct length. I think we're good to go. There's my bike check. Once again, nothing crazy fancy, nothing wild. If you enjoyed this one, why don't you go ahead and check out the other 2 videos shown in the cards above. I'd really appreciate it. This bike's been kicking ass and taking names. All right, time to get home. See, a little bit of a bottom out right there.